What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome back to Little Bit Man Gaming, bringing you another review. This time for Superman Lois episode 4 called Haywire. First things first, if I could get you to hit that like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button too. Also, leave a comment down below what you think of this episode. If you want to have a discussion about the episode, leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you thought of the episode or anything you want to tell me in the comments down below. Also, for those who are not subscribed, I'm going to really need you to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Really the subscribe button because you need, and the notification button, because you need to become part of the family, become part of the tribe. Because I'm the hottest, newest gaming / media review, reactions, and pretty much anything I might do a little bit of cooking. I mean, hey, I like to do, this is what I like to do. I'm just trying to share it with you, the world, on YouTube. And those who are subscribed, thank you. And to the new subscribers, thank you, love you, appreciate you for taking your time to subscribe to the channel and giving me an opportunity to entertain you. But, hey, for those who are not subscribed, hey, join the subscribe. Stop being over here, unsubscribe, and join the subscribe. Come on, subscribe. But with that being said, let me give you a synopsis for Haywire. Lois and Chrissy spot Morgan Edge conversing with Mayor Dean and Kyle Cushing, and the two see right through his insincere moves to try to win over the town. Clark agrees to help Lois out of a town. I couldn't get it out. Help Lois out at a town hall meeting. So, after fumbling through that synopsis a little bit, yeah. So this was much of like the two big storylines was still, of this episode was the fact that Morgan Edge is making his move to help move into the town for some reason, and we do find out what that reason is. I won't really get into detail about what that reason is because the whole thing it leads into like a spoiler. So that just say it has something to do. That reason has something to do with superpowers and Superman and all and the likes of itself. Let's see. Yeah, there is a town hall meeting that Lois asked Clark to help her out with, and they figure since Clark is like the golden child of Smallville, Lois could use him as a backup plan in case Plan A fails, and Plan A failed miserably because they found out that if Lois found out if she print anything negative or anything discriminating towards Morgan Edge, his lawyers would basically bury her under a ton of lawsuit, and that that little secretary lady who told her that that he would bury you or all that type of stuff, she would tell her again, this as I told you, he is going to bury you. And now, that forced Chrissy to tell Lois that she can't afford, she don't even have a lawyer, so she can't afford to print anything negative about Morgan Edge unless it's like it's very incriminating to where he can't even get himself out of it. So, and Lois basically goes into a meeting with Morgan Edge. She walks in on the meeting and tells him that no matter what he does, he's not going to stop her, and we're going to lay all the cards on the table. I know you try to do this, you try to do that, and he will warn you, you need to stop while you're ahead. I'll cut my losses and just, stop this pursuit. But Lois basically tells him, I'm not giving up, and I know what you're trying to do. I'm not going to let you do it to the town what you did to others. On the Clark side of things, he's enjoying being the coach, the assistant coach to his kids' football team. Jonathan is still struggling to adjust having his brother on the team. Because he, and it just being a Smallville itself, because he went from being the star quarterback in Smallville to now just like a bench rider in Smallville. And Metropolis, he was in Metropolis. He was a star quarterback. Now he's nothing but a bench rider here. And his brother gets all the playing time and the praise because of being I think he's like a defensive tackle. And he basically like he got this, and he could stop people, get the ball, whatever. He might be, and he's horrible in anything else though. He can't catch the ball. It's shown when they was practicing. He tried to catch the ball. It was a scene where they even practiced, and he tried to catch the ball and he couldn't catch it. Clark was using their powers to let him know that they're not supposed to celebrate until their ball's in the end zone, until they get the touchdown. But the other thing, I think the other big storyline with Clark was that his General Lane came to visit, and he was surprised to see that not only Jonathan was out there, not that Jonathan was out there, but he was surprised to see that both his grandchildren was playing football, and he realized Jordan shouldn't be out there playing football because he's not like Jonathan. He didn't work out to become the proper size for football. He didn't even know. Last time he checked, Jordan didn't even know how to play football or do any sports for that matter. Now he's out there, and he figures out that Jordan has powers. And he realized that's why they all moved out to Smallville, not just for the simple life, but to also help Jordan with his powers that he did have. And he even butts in on Clark and Lois parenting and tells the kids that, trying to explain to the kids that they can't keep their father distracted because he's Superman. He's more to where every moment he's distracted from when he's needed to be Superman, to be a father to them and stuff. Millions and somebody could die, millions of people could die. Anything could happen. And he was telling them that, hey, I just want y'all to understand that you can't keep your father distracted all the time because that means somebody could die. And they like, yes sir, and he said, well, act accordingly. So it's like, once again, we didn't get to see Captain Luthor in this episode, but I know from the promos of the next episode, he will be in the next episode. I think the next episode is called The Best of Smallville, and we see that Captain Luthor does make a return in the next episode. I'm trying to remember. It was like this episode did have another plot into it. I'm just trying to remember. One of the football kids that was at the party where Jordan kissed Sarah, and he shot his laser beams out. Spoiler if you didn't know by now, Jordan is the kid with the powers, not Jonathan. But I guess the explosion mixed with something. It was, they figured out with some other substance that was there that caused him to have these jitters, and like he couldn't control himself. Like he was in super speed, but he was shaking. If you remember the episode Jitters from Smallville, the one with Tom Welling. Remember, Tony Todd was in the episode, and he had the same similar problem. He couldn't stop shaking violently. It was even to the point where he could, if he shake, when he grabbed somebody while shaking, he could accidentally break their neck. And we see a little homage to that show and that episode in this one, where this time it was a kid who got the jitters, but unlike in the episode Jitters, it wasn't kryptonite that caused the jitters. It was some other foreign substance this time that was mixed with the explosion that broke his arm. And that was a major problem that had to be solved. I mean, this episode really, it really, this episode, it was another episode that was really focused more on the Clark Kent and the Superman, but we did get to see Superman this time. We had a villain, uh, God, I can't remember what the villain's name was, but he was a radical who didn't like Superman, and he was like some type of super genius, and he ended up escaping from prison to fight Superman, and this was one of those times where there was a conflict. We also get to see a conflict with Lana and Kyle, because Lana Morgan Edge is like, he took a liking to Lana. They was on the I think at the beginning of the episode they was on tour. They was doing like a little tour with Morgan Edge, and they was at the football game. And while at the football game, Morgan Edge noticed Lana, and Lana, he was told, Kyle told Morgan that, yeah, that's my wife. She's the captain of the cheerleader squad. She used to be the cheerleader herself here at Smallville High. So she ended up becoming the captain to the cheerleader squad, and he told Morgan that Lana actually worked for him at the bank. Because he brought the bank, and that she's one of his employees at the bank. And he was like, really? She works for me. Well, I insist that she join us for dinner. He said, and then Kyle's like, he's like, oh God, damn it, that's unexpected. She probably won't like this, but I need him to, to like us and to put the money into the town. So he tells Lana, he basically gets Lana to come to the dinner. But you can see at the dinner, Lana is pretty much like annoyed and uncomfortable, and that leads into an argument that Kyle and Lana has later on in the episode, where she even tells him that you didn't even realize how uncomfortable and annoyed he made me. Like you thought everything was going good, but I was like, it didn't make you uncomfortable and it didn't make you annoyed. And he was like, he didn't see nothing wrong. Y'all, we were talking shop and we was, all that type of stuff. It wasn't like he was trying to flirt with you or anything like that. And that's when she says, you don't even see it, that it's not the point. Is the point was that he made her uncomfortable and annoyed, and he didn't notice it. And he was like, "Well, what you want me to do? Go threaten him to never talk to you again, or something like something to that nature." And he basically belittled Lana to where Lana didn't want to be around him no more, and she actually goes to Lois to have a girls' night out. Just her and Lois without Clark and her husband, so just a girls' night to get away. And Lana and Lois ended up agreeing because Clark, when they was at the town meeting, everything went in Morgan's favor. Her and Chrissy was the only one who was against Morgan Edge, getting a foothold into Smallville, while everybody else voted for him to come to Smallville and bring new jobs and opportunity to Smallville. And she was upset that Clark didn't make it because due to him being Superman and all that type of stuff. And then we found out later on, it kind of was taking a toll on her a little bit, that Clark, missed a lot of date nights. He missed date nights. He missed anniversaries and stuff because of him being Superman. But she never complained about it because she realized he's Superman. He has to save the world. And Clark, realized he needs to make up for that, and so he does that in a romantic way to try to make up for a date night and stuff. He ended up, Superman ended up fighting this radical. I think he ends up stopping them too at the end and getting them back. But he also had to go help his sons with the problem with the kid with the jitters. They realized it was like superhuman based problem, so they end up using a little device to call Clark. So he defeated the villain of the episode, which is like almost like a plot device. He was more than the actual villain of the episode. He was more like a plot device, just to move so how he has to try to balance being Superman and a father. So hearing his kids in distress made him made him overcome the attack he was getting with this sonic gun, that was being shot at him. He overcame it to defeat the villain, get to his kids, and help the kid that had the jitter problems. And he and then they was asking, why didn't you call me sooner? Why did it take this long for you to call me? What took you so long? Why I told you to call me? Why haven't you called me when this first happened and stuff like that? And they, instead of telling them, they just look at their grandfather, General Lane, and it was revealed to them. Instead of being taught, we don't hear them actually telling him, but it's just cuts to the next scene of them yelling at General Lane. But so it was obvious, implemented that. They eventually told him that it was General Lane who told him not to distract him with unnecessary stuff. So now Lois and Clark are berating General Lane for the fact that he told them not to never come to him. Clark is like, you can't never tell my kids not to come to me. He was like, Clark, I don't like that your priorities are changing. Like the governments are losing faith and all that type of stuff because they don't see you patrolling around. Metropolis, and we get to see that the governments of the government of the United States are not really good with Clark being Superman, because they fear him, because they fear his power, and they fear that what he could do if he turns on them. Because they realize with his power and stuff, there's really nobody who can stop him. So they fear that, and they fear that. There's no way they don't have no good faith, and that without him patrolling and doing all this other stuff, they fear that he's not on their side anymore or whatnot. So they end up, General Lane said that's all he was trying to do was keep him in the good grace. Everything he's done is to protect Clark and them, that to keep the government from taking action against Superman if they don't see that Superman is on their side. But Lois tells them, Lois berates him and tells him that this is the same. This isn't about Clark or appeasing the government. This is about you using the same old mentality of being the army general first over being a father. And she tells him that this is what you did with me. This is how you acted with me. And you should have take a cue from Clark. He's trying to be Superman and do it. You didn't even try to be a general and a father. And they said Lois tells him that if you keep pushing this issue, then you won't be no longer allowed in this house and around this family. So General Lane left. And General Lane leaves, and we see at the end he might be even. He starts a new protocol, which looks like it might be for him going up against Superman, because I guess he feel like he's not being able to control Superman, so he wants a contingency plan with himself. I don't know. We'll see as the season goes on, but that's all I got. That's all I was going to say without spoiling too much. But, yeah. If I had to give this episode anything, I would give it a 7. Because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. It was just a good episode. It was better than last week's episode. It made that balance of him being Clark and Superman in this episode. It felt better in this episode than it did last episode. So it's definitely room for improvement. It's definitely room for this show to grow. But this episode was good. 7 big ups. 7 big ups. But yeah, that's all I got. I recommend you go watch the episode. It was a good episode. Watch it. If you haven't seen any of the episodes, I recommend go watch it from beginning to end. But if you could do me a favor and hit this button right up here, that gives you all of my reviews and my review I just did for the Flash. You can catch all that, this and all of my reviews in this little tab right here, which is, like I said, just going to take you to all of my movie reviews, not the WWE reviews, just the movie and TV show reviews. Hit this button right here to subscribe to my channel. Do it right now. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Do it right now. Hit that logo to subscribe, or hit any one of these amazing videos to get more of my amazing content. Till the next video. Peace.